Are you lost in the world like me is one of the most truthful things I've ever seen. And it's a 3 minute short to the music of Moby and the White Pacific Choir, to the song Are You Lost in the World Like Me? And it started off as being kind of, something you'd nudge somebody with your elbow and say, yeah, look at that, that's really relatable, isn't it? That's a really good representation of society. And by the end I felt like it was representative of me and pretty much everybody, and how the world is so overthrown by primarily smartphones. It is just focusing on smartphones and the fact that we're so glued to technology we don't really see the world around us. We may have the entire world at our fingertips, but we're a bit oblivious to what's going on. And when things do happen, the first thing we do is, oh, I must take a picture of this, rather than helping out or anything like that. And interestingly, if you look at it's uploaded on YouTube. If you look at the comments, some people seem to have misinterpreted it, which is pretty interesting. And I think there might be a generational difference between that. But have a look. Have a look at the comments on YouTube if you watch it on there. It's certainly interesting to see how different people have perceived this. But it is a commentary on the fact that um, technology, specifically smartphones, has a severe impact on modern society. And I don't want to spoil too much about it, by telling you exactly what it represents. But the two bits that really moved me were the girl on the top of the building and the girl. This bit of animation I absolutely loved. I thought it was fantastic. Everything was black and white. The majority of this is black and white. But she goes to take a picture, a selfie, and in the phone we see her in full color. And then she smiles, and then as she pulls away from the phone, she returns to black and white, and she's clearly depressed. And it's this, very brief representation that the self we present to the world on social media, as it is mostly a commentary on social media and not just smartphones, um, the self we present to the world is not necessarily the self behind closed doors. And that bit moved me as well. And I just think it's accurate, it's real, and I don't think it will ever change. This was released in 2016, written and directed by Steve Cutts, and I don't think it was made to change society or change the way society uses smartphones and social media on the go. I think it was more just an observation, because I don't think anything ever will change the way we use social media and kind of on demand technology. But certainly I think it's something that will unfortunately remain relevant for a very long time, which is good news for the film, because it means people are going to constantly seek it out, relate to it, and understand it. It's worth pointing out that our protagonist is a character who does not have a smartphone. And the reason he is lost in the world is because he is the only one who is observing the world around him. And as he observes the world, everybody else has their face in their phones, they're on their phones, they're on social media, and he is lost because nobody is talking, nobody is communicating. They're more interested in their phones. And I have to admit, I laughed when somebody in the YouTube comments had commented on saying, it's about a boy who is the only boy in his class who doesn't have a phone. I kind of thought, well, actually, yeah, there is a point where, um, unfortunately, I guess, where everybody begins to get phones when younger and younger these days, but begin to get phones. There always will be that one person who is the last person to get a phone. I think I was the last person in my friendship group to get an MP3 player. And while I wasn't that bothered about getting an MP3 player, it can make you feel a little bit isolated to be the only person who isn't able to join in on conversations about their latest downloads or sharing songs via Bluetooth, because that was the done thing, Bluetooth or infrared back in the day. And you can kind of read that maybe it's not a commentary on how we are glued to social media. Maybe it's a commentary on what it's like to be an individual, an outcast who hasn't succumbed to what is quite frankly a really dark and depressing existence. Maybe you could read it that way, but for me I read it as a social commentary on the fact that we're missing out on life and are not presenting our best selves in reality. and we're hiding behind social media and not solving the problems that we face on a daily basis because we can just fabricate an existence online instead. I'd love to know what you read into it, how you interpreted it. I was really moved by it. As I said, it started out as something where I kind of, smiled along thinking, yeah, you've really nailed this representation of society. You've done a great job. And then by the end of it, there were tears in my eyes because it was raw and it was real and the truth hurts, basically. Are You Lost in the World Like Me? The song itself is stunning. The animation that goes with it is beautiful, and I think it's something that absolutely everybody needs to watch.